Hello, this is Dr. Drew Taft at Foot and Ankle Associates of Southern New Hampshire, and this is another fast foot fact. This next series of videos, we're going to be talking about neuromas. We'll talk a little bit about what a neuroma is, its causes, what are its symptoms, how we diagnose them, and what are our treatments. So we will start off the video just talking a little bit about what a neuroma is. A neuroma is basically any thickening of a nerve or tissue around the nerve, and it can happen anywhere in the body. When it's in the foot, oftentimes it's referred to as a Morton's neuroma. Classically, a Morton's neuroma will develop between the third and the fourth metatarsals, the space between the third and the fourth toes, but just behind it. We sometimes call these an intermetatarsal neuroma, but it's basically just described as a nerve that's becoming irritated between these two metatarsals in the foot. They can occur in other areas of the foot, typically still between the metatarsals. Second most common area is in the second. Oftentimes, that'll be the next location to see them. We don't typically see them in too many other areas, so usually between the second and third interspaces. But basically, it's just a thickening or enlargement of the nerve that is a result of usually some sort of compression or repetitive irritation of the nerve. This repetitive irritation and compression causes the nerve to become inflamed or enlarged. And if that inflammation and irritation persists, it can cause the nerve to become more persistently irritated and sometimes can cause some permanent nerve damage. So what are some of the causes for neuromas? We don't always have an exact understanding of their etiology, but we certainly have some good ideas of what some of the more likely contributing factors are. And generally, footwear is a big one. So when we talk about a shoe that is too tight, whether it's too narrow, or if it has a higher heel, for women who typically wear something that forces too much load to the front of the foot, that can cause the nerve in the front of the foot to become irritated. So shoe gear is definitely a big one. We also talk about foot structure, so just having a particular foot type, whether you have a more flat foot or pronated foot type, or you have a higher arched foot, both of those things can cause those metatarsals to become moved in a way that can cause the nerve to become irritated. If you have a particular deformity, whether it's a bunion or a hammer toe, that can also cause those metatarsals to move in a way that causes the nerve to get irritated. Certainly we can talk about injury, if there's any sort of direct trauma to the foot that can cause the nerve to become entrapped or inflamed. We'll see a nerve become injured that way. And then repetitive stresses, so if you're participating in a particular activity, whether it's running or jumping, or you play a particular sport, and it just causes those metatarsals to become repetitively moved in a way that causes that nerve to become irritated and entrapped, then that can also cause that nerve over time to become more and more problematic. So that's a good way to start off with definition and causes. We'll certainly go into next go around with what are really the symptoms and what are some of the ways we diagnose these guys. Thanks again.